Time and time again, we see in the Old Testament where Israel has relied on Egypt instead of relying on God. And here in Ezekiel, God sends a word of judgment against the nations. And Egypt is one of those nations that gets this word of judgment. Egypt may have thought that they were all powerful, but compared to God, they were nothing more than a splintered reed. Let me read to you Ezekiel 29, verse 6 and 7. Then all the inhabitants of Egypt will know that I am the Lord, for they have been a staff made of reed to the house of Israel. When Israel grasped you by the hand, you splintered, tearing all your shoulders. When they leaned on you, you shattered and made all their hips unsteady. And so we get the impression here, the picture of a walking stick that is unsteady, that's unreliable, that gives you splinters, that breaks when you try to lean on it. And that's the way Egypt was when Israel tried to lean on Egypt. And so God is going to, he goes on to say that he's going to send Egypt into 40 years of exile. But he's going to bring them back, but they will never be the nation that they once were. Let me read to you Ezekiel 29, verse 13 through 16. For this is what the Lord God says, at the end of the 40 years, I'll gather the Egyptians from the peoples where they were dispersed. I'll restore the fortunes of Egypt and bring them back to the land of Pathros, the land of their origin. There they will be a lowly kingdom. Egypt will be the lowliest of kingdoms and will never again exalt itself over the nations. I will make them so small they cannot rule over the nations. It will never again be the object of trust, the house of Israel, drawing attention to their iniquity of turning to the Egyptians. Then they will know that I am the Lord God. Egypt will no longer be an object of trust. And I've thought about this as I've read this week. The USA is kind of like that in our world today, that all the nations of the world kind of lean on us instead of leaning on God. And it reminds us to trust in the Lord, nothing else, because when we trust in the things of this world, all we're doing is leaning on a splintered reed that's not going to hold us up. So trust in the Lord.